was lap 226, 11 cars involved, and he went from 5th to 12th in points. Stewart not only crashes his car, he was briefly unconscious after the wreck, had to be airlifted out, held for a short time at a local hospital overnight, but he turned out obviously to be okay and was back racing. Darlington, one of the few setbacks for Stewart last year, and Tony is standing by with our Matt Yoakum.
Chris, Tony Stewart grew up at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, spent so many months of May there, and he knows about tradition and history. And Tony, what would it mean to win a race here at Darlington?
This is probably one of the most challenging tracks we run on all year, if not the most challenging track, because of the two ends being different and, you know, what it takes to really be good here all day. So, you know, it's just one of those places that you got to go out and keep your car as balanced as you can all day and keep it adjustable. I mean, the track tends to change a lot during the race, and, you know, there's just not a lot of room for error here because you're running so close to the wall all the time, and, you know, the actual racetrack itself is real narrow. So, you know, it's just one of those challenging racetracks that you just got to be focused and patient and give and take and, you know, keep working on the car all day.
Now you've got your hunting beard. I understand you've been doing some studying over the past 24 hours for a big week ahead.
Yeah, I sat in Indiana. I was home for a couple of days, and I sat in there with a turkey hunting video. I've never turkey hunted in my life. I've never even been hunting, so.
Never picked up a gun?
Well, I've been holding the gun a lot. I'm hoping that's why I wanted to get through with the race today, so I can go back home to Charlotte and try to shoot the gun some before I go to Alabama tomorrow. But going on a charity turkey hunt with the governor of Alabama, and Red Farmer's going to be down there, and going to do a little turkey hunting and fishing all on the same day, or a couple days actually, Tuesday and Wednesday. So going to have a pretty good time down there.
For the first item on the agenda, he's hunting a win, his first here at Darlington. The Genie's Alaska.
Well, from one Indy driver to another, we know you can drive 230 miles an hour, but your first time at this track in a Cup car you tested, you got a Darlington stripe. So which is more intimidating, 230 or this track?
You know, that's hard to say. I mean, this track is tough. It's a real tough place, and you run so close to the wall. I'd probably say this place here. You know, I mean, you get comfortable running those speeds in an Indy car, but it's hard to get comfortable running 6 inches away from the wall here.
Yeah, I could understand that. How much does it help that you have a teammate here, a veteran teammate here in Sterling Marlin, who actually came from the back of the pack last year to win, so he knows this track? Have you been trying to glean some of the knowledge from him this week?
Yeah, I've been talking to Sterling quite a bit, and also, you know, we used his notes from last year. We started with his setup and kind of just improved on it from, I mean, not improved on it, but for my style of driving, we got it a little bit better for myself. And we have a really good car. We were fast here in a happy hour. We weren't real fast out of the box, but 5-8 laps in, we're real strong. So we're looking forward to a good run at the Target Dodge. And I just want to say hi to McKenzie and Chase back home.
All right, great. Definitely one of the rookies to watch. Chris?
Thanks, Jeannie. And Jeannie catching a ride. She might just head on to the airport after the race with Casey. 6 rookies. Casey, one of 6 rookies in the race, 5 first-timers at Darlington. Tony Raines has run here before. In this track, you choose up tires. In fact, right, really. 12 to 15 sets of tires will be used by the crew. Let's take a look, Jeff. Yeah. You can illustrate, show the viewers exactly what Darlington does.
I thought you were going to bring 4 tires up in there.
No. Michelin giving us this tire to help us out, of course.
Right, just so you can see right here. All this debris right here, you see this white granulated stuff? Those are little bitty rocks. That's kind of like the sand. That's what this is like, a piece of sandpaper, and it just literally rips the rubber right off of this tire. I mean, it's just very abrasive. This race tire here has got approximately 40 laps on it, and it's worn out. And if his driver, my driver, he'd be wanting some tires right about now.
The car slides so much here. It's all about sliding. You slide it up to the wall.
Okay.
And when it gets there, you nail the throttle to keep it off the wall, and that sliding wears these things right out.
How much speed do you lose as the wear and tear?
2 seconds, man. 2 seconds.
Really?
Chris, the problem is when your tires go off and somebody comes in and gets tires, you're like you can't get out of the way. There's no place here to get out of the way, and that's sometimes how you cause big wrecks. You get run over.
Something we'll look for today. Also, the wear and tear of engines, and along with the weather, one of the storylines the past few weeks, the engine problems plaguing Roush Racing, and the cat in the hat, he can't afford to stay pat.
No, he can't.
And that was one of the engines. I believe that was from Kurt Busch, right?
The other day. Had the rod hang out the bottom of the pan.
Now, here's the thing. Let me ask you first, because Jack Roush said, hey, he came right out this week, said, I take responsibility. He talked about aggressive tuning, right? Yeah. The quest for fuel mileage. Have they identified and corrected the problem for today when we look at the Roush cars?
Answer that question when 400 miles is complete.
You're
right here.
The expert. That's why I'm asking you
They
now.
don't know because, again, there's some things, unknowns right now. Obviously, they had an engine. They lost an engine the other day. Now they go back. Have they got the problem fixed? It makes you wonder because the oiling problem right there with the 97 car is what they said it was. They lost the rod bearing. rod hanging out the bottom of the pan. You can't deal with that, as you see Jack Rouse right there talking to Ricky Rudd.
I believe what they have is an oiling problem. The bottom of the pistons, if you don't, they clean these engines out, suck all the oil out of the engine to cut down on resistance and friction. I believe they're not oiling the bottom of that piston enough. It's getting too hot. It could have been a problem.
Is that the scuffed pistons?
That's
I heard
part of the scuffed piston thing. You got to have oil in the bottom of the engine to oil up underneath the bottom of the piston, or the piston will get hot, it'll crack, or you'll lose a rod bearing like what happened there yesterday. Let's bring in Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds from the broadcast booth, and Darrell, you'll be joining them to call the race in a moment. And Larry, I'll start with you on this. How does this play on the mind of the crew chiefs and the drivers for Roush Racing when they have this additional problem to worry about?
Place. I mean, we're in the middle of a 9-race stretch that started at Daytona, goes all the way through Martinsville. And trust me, these races, they feel like they start coming 2 a week. Now, you can't make a knee-jerk reaction and pull the power way back, but you have to figure it out. And now it seems like they have 2 different problems, Mike. They have an oiling problem and a piston problem, and we're going to a place in 2 weeks, Fort Worth, Texas, that is hard on engines, about as hard as it was at Atlanta last week.
Well, Jack told Jeff Hammond that he thought they had fixed the problem. He fixed a problem. It might not have been the problem. One of the great benefits of multi-car teams is you get to trade and transfer technology among all the teams under your purview. One of the problems is, though, when you start to have a problem, it can reach epidemic proportion and at least work on the morale of all those teams, if not the engines under those hoods.
Yeah, I mean, you get to wondering, Chris, if it's going to go away.
All right, well, Larry, let's, speaking of problems, you have problems picking against our crew here because you're in the last place. Can we show the standings real quick? Jeff Hammond hit the winner last week right on the head in picking Bobby Labonte, and he and Darrell are on the top of our as we follow the season. Look, it's a close race, though, so let's go to Larry first, since he's down at the bottom, see if he can turn things around. Larry?
We didn't have to show the standings. I'm a little worried about my engine, but I'm still going to go with Matt Kenseth in that 17 car.
Here's my pick. I think I'll take David Pearson.
No, you can't do that.
Oh, he's not running today? Well, I'll take Sterling Marlin then.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to take the man who's been successful here, Jeff Gordon. I think he can come through today for me one more time.
All right, thanks for watching our pre-race show. For all of us here, stick around. We have 400 miles to go. How will the Roush cars hold up? Can Sterling Marlin repeat? The answer lies ahead on Fox.